To you, coming back to you, Alisha. Now, Alisha, yesterday, of course, we saw that Uddhav Thackeray has made it very clear that he wants all these MLAs to return and then he wants to have a word with them. But on the other side, we've also heard Sanjay Raut yesterday speak about the fact that he is very confident that if there is a floor test, they will vote with the MVA government. So mixed signals essentially being sent by the Shiv Sena. Is it because they're confused themselves and out of options? That's the Thackeray side of it?
Well, of course, Nupur, it seems like Uddhav Thackeray something was not expecting from his MLAs, and not only the MLAs, the other MPs and the councillor, what he is getting to know that Eknath Shinde is getting a huge support. But he is talking about the statement, because at first when Uddhav Thackeray had a Facebook Live, he clearly stated the MLAs who are in Guwahati, at least one of the MLAs should come and say that they don't want Uddhav Thackeray as the chief minister and is ready to step down. Also talking about Sanjay Raut, who is continuously speaking to media and giving out the statement yesterday where he said that they are ready for the floor test, and also he claimed that there are 18 to 21 MLAs that he has been in touch with. The rebel MLAs he's been talking about, that there are 21. But what really transpired from the letter that was given by Eknath Shinde to Deputy Speaker, because we saw that there was the majority of 37, the magical number that we have been talking about, because the Shiv Sena has 55 MLAs to join hands with the BJP. They need a two-thirds of the majority, that is the 37 numbers, and that 37 majority, the MLA signature we saw in that paper, in that document, the resolution that was given to the Deputy Speaker, clearly asking the Deputy Speaker to appoint Eknath Shinde as the leader of Shiv Sena Legislative Assembly and Bhagat as a chief whip. So this is the letter. It clearly shows that he proves that he has the number, and of course there are more and more MLAs that is joining Eknath Shinde camp, because what even Shivangi was talking about Dilip Lande, who is known to be the very loyal Sikh, he clearly said that with the interview to Republic that he will be with Uddhav Thackeray, and that is the reason where he is at St. Regis. And now talking about even Bhaskar Jadhav, who is on his way, he's going to reach Guwahati. If I go to my colleague Shivangi, it's very important development where Dilip Lande, whom you talked to, is given the information that he is with Uddhav Thackeray, but now his phone is not reachable, and the sources are saying that he's on his way to Guwahati to support Eknath Shinde.
All right, let's go back to Shivangi now. Shivangi, a lot of the action is going to take place at Matoshri today. Give us a sense of what's happening outside over there. Now, the councillors going away from the Uddhav Thackeray camp is going to be erosion of the ground level worker as well.
Right. Nupur, this is extremely interesting, the turn of events which we are seeing here in Maharashtra, not just at the MLA level, but also at the ward level. If we just go back a little back in time, just maybe a month back, couple of weeks back, remember that BJP trumped Shiv Sena and the MVA in the Legislative Council elections. And even in the Rajya Sabha polls, they got more numbers. So right now, at this point of time, what is important for Uddhav Thackeray, of course, if we really look at it and speculate, that he would also want right now that the BMC elections, the civic elections which are coming, they want to maintain, their hold over it, because they've had a hold over the BMC for the past 30 years, more than that in fact, since 1989. So Nupur, right now what's very important for them is to make sure they remain that, they keep that hold. That is why there's an emergency meeting taking place later on in the day around noon or so at the Shiv Sena Bhavan, where they will maybe discuss these issues which are coming up, Nupur. And as we have been reporting continuously on Republic TV, that as of now, loyalists there turning into rebels, and even at the ward level, we are seeing some supporters of Eknath Shinde camp. So this is definitely a very worrying situation for Uddhav Thackeray at this time, as numbers keep dwindling for him. Not just at the assembly and MLA level, but also at the ward level, and that definitely is a big concern.
All right, let me go back to Piyush Ori now. Piyush, what we've heard from the NCP so far is that they're going to stick to the Shiv Sena, and that's the Uddhav faction of it. But things are changing so quickly on the ground for the Shiv Sena. Do you think that's going to perhaps change as well for the NCP?
Well, Nupur, your guess is as good as mine, on ground, definitely they are saying that they will support with Shiv Sena led by Uddhav Thackeray camp. But now there are murmurs that, there are some MLAs of NCP who are not happy with this alliance, and they want, them to be saved from the embarrassment if this government is not going to survive. Having said that, there's also a third party which is involved in all this act, and that is Congress. And yesterday, the Congress MLAs also held its meeting. And we had a word with Ashok Chavan regarding this, and they said the Mahavikas Aghadi should function with all its differences, being there. They must try to resolve the differences, and they must work together because they must try to let BJP out of Maharashtra. Now, Maharashtra is a very important state, which BJP wants. And I believe Congress realizes this. To some extent, even NCP realizes it. And Shiv Sena, which, broke its alliance with BJP just because, it was not being given the Chief Minister's seat way back in 2019, also now realize that, how important it is going to be to, not allow BJP to come back to power in Maharashtra. So all these, factors also have to be taken into consideration. NCP is looking into it, Congress is looking into it, and I suppose that Shiv Sena led by Uddhav Thackeray camp, with all its troubles being there, will also have its eye on all these factors which are developing. Back to you, Nupur.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Shivangi, to you next. Shivangi, the Congress so far has not really spoken out. We saw Kamal Nath troop to Mumbai. He's left from Mumbai now. The Congress has at various points acknowledged that they don't, that this government does not have the numbers. So what are you hearing from them?
Well, Nupur, we continue to be tracking this story right now, and that is, for now, we know that the numbers are not exactly stacked for Uddhav Thackeray. And I just want to first go back to what we have been, in fact, telling you for the past few days. Where I am, this is Matoshri right now. Now imagine that a CM leaves his residence, and comes here. Of course, the other allies here also, a bit concerned. That's what we would expect at this time. But right now, the other allies of MVA, they definitely do seem to be still supporting. That's what we have come to know so far. And my colleague there, Piyush Shori, reporting from one of the NCP leaders' camps there. And I would like to, in fact, tell you that right now, Nupur, that 2 days ago, when Uddhav Thackeray had come back here, we saw a lot of workers. If you talk about numbers, Nupur, what we saw was a lot of supporters and women Shiv Sainiks, very emotional women,